back to Ghost Powered Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we talk about the film Titane. So Titane is a French language film that was recently released by Neon. And I just went and saw it the other day. I actually tried to see it last week, and there was an issue with the copy that the theaters near me had. It didn't have any English subtitles. And I'm like, dude, I don't speak French. So I had to wait until they got a copy with French subtitles. So I had to drive a bit, actually, to find a theater. But either way, I finally saw this movie, and wow. Like, this is one of those movies where it's really hard to say if it's bad or good, because it's really about what you're into and what you enjoy. So basically, it's a very artsy type of film that is very surreal in a lot of ways. And by the end, you're really not sure of what's reality and what is fantasy, because it's basically about this girl who, as a child, gets in a car accident and gets her head damaged and has like this metal plate installed in the side of her head. And so from then going forward, you're never quite sure if the things that are happening are reality or a fantasy. You know, her acting out the things she wants to do but not actually doing. It's really up to your perception on what you think is reality and what you think is fantasy. But also at the same time, I feel like this movie mostly comes down to a movie about loneliness. Movie about people that have a hard time finding a place in this world and are just looking for someone to cling to, you know, to hang on to, someone to call their own kind of thing. And it delves pretty deep into that stuff. It's very interesting because this movie is a French film, just the culture difference. Like, for one, there's tons and tons and tons of nudity in this movie. Your leading character is naked through a lot of this movie, to the point where it becomes normalized and you're just like, whatever, it's just this naked girl. But the crazy thing is, and what really makes this movie worth watching, in my opinion, as a horror fan, is the body horror. The body horror is outstanding and just very crazy and weird. There's some really gruesome violence in this movie, as well as just some very bizarre things that start to happen to her body as the movie goes along. If I seem like I'm being kind of vague about the synopsis of this movie, it's that there really isn't a simple way to kind of talk about what this movie is actually about, because it's really just about this girl who gets this head damage and just goes through life doing all these different crazy things, and you're just not really sure what's reality and what's not. And you just kind of follow her as she goes down this journey of crazy shit. But like I said, it's a very artsy type of movie, but it's not a slow burn artsy movie like an A24. This is an art movie like a lot of Neon pictures, where it's more insane, crazy, over the top scenarios, colorful, you know, graphic type of things like that. Not so much this poetic, kind of beautiful, slow burn A24 style of artsy movies. So this movie isn't gonna be for everyone at all, definitely. If you're someone that is not into body horror and is squeamish at all, then there's definitely some scenes that are gonna get you in this movie. There is some very brutal images, some stuff that you're just like, oh god. I mean, I out loud to myself, because there's nobody else really around me, to myself I had to actually exclaim at times. So it's just like, damn, oh shit, you know, that kind of thing. It's just that kind of stuff. But I enjoy that stuff, especially because of the art behind it and how they pulled this off, how these special effects were done, because so much of this is practical. It doesn't feel like there's much of any CGI used in this movie. The vast majority of it is practically done. But to sum this movie up, it's a very bizarre, very quirky, interesting kind of movie that it is not going to be for everyone. If you're someone that is not into the artsy kind of movies, then you're definitely not going to enjoy this movie. And if you're also someone who needs a nice wrapped up package by the end, you know, an ending that closes everything up and you're like, okay, I know what this movie was and what it's about, I followed it from beginning to end, this is not your jam either. Because by the end, you're confused and you're just kind of winding it over and over in your brain trying to figure out what you think actually happened, because like I said, a lot of this movie, and especially by the end, it has you really questioning what you saw, and if anything you just saw is reality, or on what level is it a fantasy, that kind of thing. So by the end, you're going to be thinking about this movie long after the fact, in my opinion, but you might not feel happy with the ending because it leaves everything just kind of like whoop up in the air, not sure. You know, it's up to you to kind of figure out what you think you just watched. One of those kind of things. But I did enjoy it, and I think for people that love horror, especially body horror, and people that just enjoy artsy kind of horror movies in general, I think this is definitely a must watch. But that's going to do it for me today. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know if you guys have checked this out and what you thought of it. Also, if you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell, because that is the best way to keep track of this channel. And when I post videos like this, and I post videos like this at least 2 times every week, I also want to give a huge, massive, enormous thank you to my patrons, because you guys, your support seriously means so much to me. And if you would like to find out more about becoming a patron, the link is down in the description. And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. I will see you next time.